All right then. So, hi. We are live, and we are live on both YouTube and we're also live on SKOOL. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We are just live right now to do what I'd like to call Coffee Hour with JP. That music's pretty crazy. It's meant to be chill. It's a bit weird. Let's shuffle it and get something a little bit more chill. That is not chill. That'll do. Right, okay, cool. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening from. And we are live on both YouTube and SKOOL.com as well. This is Coffee Hour with JP, and this is a new thing that I'm going to do where I'm going to hold myself accountable. And it's about accountability. It's about chilling out, but also at the same time, it's about just a couple of ideas that you want to put for the week. Whether you've got an idea that you want to do a certain song, you want to learn how to loop, you want to do certain things, you're recording maybe, and it's just a way of reaching out, obviously, to people if you want to have a chat, but also at the same time, just having, as I say, that little bit of accountability. So if you're watching on YouTube, hi, and if you're watching on SKOOL, hi. If you haven't joined me on SKOOL, we are doing sort of like the same thing. We're doing sort of, a coffee hour. And we're going to do this every Monday as much as I can, if I'm here on a Monday morning, because it's about kind of setting the week up and your weekend at the end. So if you've got gigs planned, are you planning on adding a different song to your set list? Or are you looking at learning a specific loop pedal, or you've got a new looper that you've just literally bought and you're like, how do I add this to my arsenal? So let me know, obviously, in the chats. I've got chats open on both SKOOL and YouTube, so let me know in the chat what's happening with you guys if you're obviously learning something new. If not, or if you're watching this on the replay on YouTube, then just be aware, obviously, we're chatting live here, but put in the comment section what you want to make yourself accountable and go, come on, we're going to do this. We're going to learn a new song for Friday's gig, or we're going to figure out a way to get my loop pedal finally into my pedal board, something like that. And I'm going to do this every week, so I want to make myself accountable, and I've got a couple of videos I need to make sure that I'm getting done. So for me, there's a song I want to do, which is a song that I'm writing at the moment, and I want to make sure that's finished by the end of the weekend. I'm going away at the weekend, so I've got some time as well to do that. But also, I want to make sure that basically people are accountable for themselves. So if you have, something specific that you're going, just put that away, it's in the drawer. Now maybe it's time to get it back out again. So hopefully we can have a look at being sort of accountable together. Also, the idea of sort of coffee hour. I know I'm drinking tea, but hey, there we go. I am actually drinking a hot beverage. That's better. It's about also just connecting with people and just connecting with the looping community, the YouTube community, and the SKOOL community as well, because we are on SKOOL.com. And so the coffee hour, and we're going to obviously run this through till about 10:30. We started at 9:30, but I had a technical thing. And then I'm going to dive off and then do what I normally do, which is film and then edit. So let me know, obviously, what you're up to for the week. And, if you're watching on a replay, we're going to be doing this every Monday. I'm going to try and do it every Monday at 9:30 GMT. If obviously that's inconvenient for you and you're watching on the replay, then it's the best time for me to do this at the moment. So we may change the times if you want to do like an evening one. So therefore it's morning in the US, for example, or wherever you are in the world. And I just wanted to obviously talk about, as I say, I was already saying about accountability. The other thing as well is talking about the future. So where we're talking about where you're going as an artist, and also what you want to accomplish over the sort of like, next coming weeks and even months. So I would highly recommend, having a look at sort of like where you are right now, if you're gigging, if you're looking to add sort of songs to your arsenal. Of course, we're in the sort of Christmas mode at the moment now, so if you're a gigging musician who plays covers, you may want to start looking at maybe doing gigs with Christmas tunes involved. If you're using a looper as well, how do you incorporate that? So maybe you know how to play the song, but then how do we add stuff in for the Christmas stuff? And that's something obviously that's quite important, obviously, in like a gigging aspect. If you've got your own tunes and you want to put like a Christmas spin on it, how do you do that other than just buy some sleigh bells? It's one of those things where when you're gigging live in certain times of the year, then there's certain, shall we say, expectations. So Christmas is a big one. So you've got obviously people, sort of like going out for their Christmas parties, and you might be the entertainment. How do you drop in the odd Christmas tune, or do you completely rip out your set list? Have you got a set list that you're thinking, well, I'll just rip that out and I'll change it completely, and you've got specific ones that you're playing with? So let me know, obviously, in the comment section or in the chat. If you're on live right now in the chat, say hi and let me know where you are. And for me, let's just talk about obviously sort of Christmas tunes. So if I do like a covers gig, like 2 45 minutes, I'll kind of drop a couple of tunes in. I'd probably say a third of the first set will be mixed out with Christmas tunes, and then the second half is where we go heavy on. But it's also about sort of how do you incorporate that to keep the vibe up, because you might, if you play Christmas tunes, now 17th December, it's kind of sort of all right. It's normally the first week of December people go nuts for it. Yeah, I know a group who are doing their sort of Christmas do the last week of November. So they're going to be all festive. And if you're the entertainment, like, should you be playing Christmas tunes at that time? I think so. I think it should be sort of the right time to do it. The other thing as well is if you're looking at recording music and you're looking at recording your stuff maybe at home, or you're lucky enough to obviously you've like found some money to go into a studio. What are you recording? And are you looking at specific dates? Now, things like DistroKid, LANDR, Ditto, all these independent label digital distributors have brought out documents for when you should, the last point you need to launch stuff before Christmas. So I had it here. There we go. Holiday release deadlines. So, for example, for LANDR, it says basically if the release date was November the 28th, then November the 21st, that's fine. But if you want it released for, say, the 19th of December, it's got to be up and loaded by the 12th. If you want it released for the 26th, it's got to be up and loaded by the 19th. And if you want the release date to be the 2nd of January, you've got to release it. Sorry, you've got to deliver it. The delivery deadline is the 26th of December. So when they say the delivery deadline, it says basically at the end of 2025 approaches, the deadlines to ensure a smooth release to people like Apple Music, Spotify, all these different places. The music delivered after these deadlines may not appear on the release date. So due to high volume deliveries and updates they receive during the time, and don't recommend making changes between the 20th and the 27th, because you may find that some of the companies that work on that, they may have closed down. They may have obviously closed down for holiday. So I'd highly recommend, if you're doing stuff obviously for maybe 2026 and you want stuff out for, the first week in January, I'd really make sure that you've uploaded it probably by the second week of December. Mainly because it's one of those things where it takes a week or two to kind of sort itself out on Apple Music, Spotify, Deezer, Pandora, all these different places. But also, just in case you need to make a change. So making changes, they're saying don't change anything after sort of like December 20th. And that's with LANDR, but there's other companies, but really should be uploading a month before. If you're picking the date and the release date that you want, then it really should be about uploading about 4 weeks before. And this is so you've got time for all the different companies. You've got the big hitters, I'd say, like Spotify and Apple Music, but it's more about making sure that those other companies, they can get it out. So even like Meta, for example, so if you want to use your release on Instagram, and you want to put it on it, the music itself on an Instagram reel where you pick music and then you type it in and it's there, you need to give it a couple of weeks. And it's definitely, if you've certainly got a launch day, you need to make sure obviously that you're planning that in advance. As obviously we're coming to the end of November, we're mid-November now, then coming towards the end of that, it's kind of thinking about, you know, Christmas time, holiday gigs, and then also, you know, if you're gigging over the sort of Christmas time, how are you taking care of yourself in the sense of your voice, on your energy levels, because it can be pretty exciting. And then if you've got like 6 or 7 gigs, certainly if you've got, you know, 5 or 6 gigs in a week, then how do you look after the throat, you know, and things like that. So it's also when it starts getting colder, apparently on Wednesday it's meant to snow in the UK, at certain parts of the UK on Wednesday. So as you get colder, the old singer's flu comes in, as it always happens. You know, making sure you look after yourself with that as well. So if you just joined us, well, good morning. This is Coffee Hour with JP, and we're just talking about things for the week, setting up for the week. I'm going to do this every week, and we're going to basically set ourselves an accountable task, what that is. I'm not telling you what your task is. Just obviously what I want you to do is go, do you know what? It's Monday. Let's do something by the Sunday. Okay, so we've got the whole week and the weekend. Let's hold ourselves accountable. So for me, I've got a song that I'm writing and I want to get that finished. I want to get the writing part finished by the end of the week. So that's my accountable goal for myself. I may or may not use the loop pedal for it. I probably will. But it's about sort of like making sure that, you know, we write loads of stuff, or we write half a song and put it in a drawer and forget about it. Or maybe it's a live thing. Maybe it's you want to learn a new song live, so you can add it to your set list. So maybe you want to learn, I don't know, Mariah Carey song for Christmas, or you want to learn, hope not, or you want to learn obviously a specific Christmas song, because you're adding it to your arsenal in December. So let me know obviously in the comment section below or in the chat. We're live on both YouTube and SKOOL.com. If you haven't seen the announcements, I'm also on SKOOL.com as well, and all the courses are there as well. So if you go looking for the Loop Academy for Jump On Music UK, you'll find that there's also a link in the description box on YouTube if you want to come and join us. It is currently $49 a month for the first 20. Well, not 20 anymore, but it was the first 20 members, and then that price is going to go up. So it's technically cheaper at the moment to go onto SKOOL.com to get access to all my courses than it is on YouTube, and that's just a bit of a promo at the moment. And then after the first 20 members, that price will increase. So just be aware of that. You can also lock in on SKOOL, which is quite cool. So with SKOOL, you can lock in for the year, which is basically what I've done is I've set it up as $4.95. So it works out as $41 a month. And you've locked that in then for 12 months. So then if I increase the price, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to be adding, well, I've added, where are we? Added 3 out of 4 of the courses. And I've put the loop and cheat sheet on there as well, so you can get that. The video, which is called I Wish I Knew This Sooner. And then a new thing I'm doing, which is called the Looping Vault. So the Looping Vault is actually the videos that you would have seen before to begin with, of all the performance videos where I break down how I loop something. So for example, how I loop Tom Petty Free Falling, how I loop Elbow's song. So it's things like that. So you see the performance, and then also I'll either A, break it down afterwards, or B, during the performance you'll see what I've put down. I press this button, I press that button. So the Looping Vault is just a combination of that to begin with, but then what I'm going to do with Looping Vault is as I make more videos, they're going to be available in Looping Vault. So therefore it's available for members only, and it won't be there for the general public. So the performance might be, so I put the performance out for the general public, but then the how-to is on the members, both on YouTube membership and on SKOOL. So I've started adding them all in. There's a couple that I believe I've missed, so I need to add them back in. But that'll be increasing, so we'll do that. So, obviously, if you're watching the replay, then let us know what your accountability is for the week. What you're going to do, and hold yourself accountable. I think it's time we do this, because it's one of those things about, write it down. No, I am going to find time. I'm going to carve time out of my very busy schedule to write the rest of this song. Or I'm going to learn this song. Give yourself an hour or two, to learn a new song. Maybe for yourself, or maybe for, as I say, gigging for Christmas or something like that. This is also a time where you can ask me anything. You can ask me, and it is an AMA, so you can ask me any questions that you want to. So if you've got any questions regarding the memberships that we've got on both YouTube and SKOOL, or if you want to, of course, just ask me anything about looping or live streaming, or what camera I'm using or anything like that, you're more than welcome to do that. We're going to be doing this every week, by the way. So we're going to be doing a hangout every week, both on SKOOL.com and also on live. I thought we'd go with YouTube, obviously, just live, just general live, which is cool. And I just need to do one thing, which I forgot. There we go. Let's do that again. There we go. Yes, I just took a picture because I needed to for something else that I'm doing. Right. So, yeah, my question is basically, as I say, what are you looking to do? Now, I'm going to go through something I've been through before, but I haven't been through it in a long time. So I wanted to go through 10 things to do with looping if you're sort of on the fence about it. Now, if you're watching this on SKOOL, you're not going to see the comments come up because I need to figure this out, but I'll add that in later, or on the next coffee hour. But if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see these come through. But this is about loop pedals and talking about looping in general. If it's the time where you're thinking, actually, I want to write to Santa and get a loop pedal. Well, the first thing you need to do is choose a loop pedal. So number one is choose a loop pedal, get what's right for you. Now I'm very grateful to say that I use more than one. Okay, now I use the RC600 Boss 6-track loop pedal as my go-to, and that's what I use for gigging when I'm playing with the guitar. I'm also very fortunate to have the RC505 Mark II, and I use that with keyboard when I'm doing things like Loop My Brain. However, you may find that Loopy Pro is the one that actually resonates with you, or you may find that the new X dual loop stereo is the one that resonates with you. You also need to figure out if you're looking for a loop pedal, or you're choosing a loop pedal for maybe Christmas or something like that. Figure out what you want to do with it. Like, how many tracks do you think you need? Like, how would you like to separate the drums, the bass, and the harmonies? If the looper has drums on already, then you just need 2 tracks. You just need the bass and the harmonies. If you want to make the drums yourself, then you're going to need 3 tracks. Do you want it to do verse, chorus, bridge? Or do you want it to just all play at the same time? These are things you need to think about, obviously, when you're looking at choosing a loop pedal. But then also, it doesn't necessarily need to be a pedal. I know I put loop pedal down on the comment thing there. But yeah, get what's right for you. Okay, so just obviously, whatever you feel resonates. If you're lucky enough to go to a music store, then like a real in-life one, because the ones around here are closing down, then go over to them and just see, if they've got a pad, go and play with one for an hour. Or if you know a friend who's got one, like recommendation. I can always recommend pedals for anyone, but it's down to how you play, and you go, do you know what, I like the feel of that. Maybe it's the Sheeran Looper Plus, the 2-track one, or maybe it's the Sheeran Looper X, the 4-track one, or maybe you need something tabletop. I recommended the RC202 for someone. This is a small tabletop because they just wanted to record one thing, but they wanted it on the piano next to them. So that's kind of the right looper for them. They don't want a pedal, they wanted to actually be able to touch it with their hands, and that makes sense. So choose the right looper. I should change that to looper, shouldn't I? Get what's right for you. The next one is the most boring one, which is practice with your looper. Obviously, I'm going to change that because I said loop pedal. Let's call it looper. There we go. So practice your looper, because it is one of those things where There we go. Sound. That's better. Right, practice your looper. Timing is everything. Now, if you haven't seen it, if you're on Skool, I have a video that's there. It's also on YouTube as well, which is called I Wish I Knew This Sooner. And go and have a look at it, because that is actually, it's on the Skool classroom. It's also in YouTube as well, but you just got to find it. And that is kind of a starting point. So once you're actually picked what you want, it's more about practicing. Now, this is my little plug here, where I'm basically sort of like, sort of plugging my own stuff. If you're on Skool, then for practicing, go over to Loop Like a Pro, the beginner's course. And if you're wanting the beginner's course or wanting any of my courses, on my website at the moment, I've already got my Black Friday deal going, which is 50% off. So if you put BL50 in the checkout on any of my courses on johnpaulmusic.co.uk, you'll get 50% off any of them, and you can put it on all of them if you want to. So that's it. Carl, good morning. Hi, John Paul. I'm interested in why you prefer hardware as opposed to software such as Loopy Pro. I like Loopy Pro. I really do. Do you know what it is? It's more about, ironically, the hardware that goes with Loopy Pro for me. So for gigging, I want a box that I just open up and go. With Loopy Pro, I need to then, I still take my iPad with me anyway, because I'm using it for things like lyrics and stuff. It's about having something where I can put my iPad in. It already has the audio interface in. It could be battery powered, or it could charge the iPad as well, with all the cables, and having that system kind of built in. I don't really want my iPad on the floor though. So I want a system that's kind of like, imagine like a, I don't know, like a keyboard with an iPad, with an audio interface underneath, all kind of 3D printed. I don't know. I think it's because of the setup. So for a lot of my gigs, I'm kind of set up in a corner doing one or two things, and I can go completely wireless now. So in the sense of the pedal. So the Morningstar MC8 Pro, which I've got here, is Bluetooth, and that'll Bluetooth to the iPad, which is fantastic. But then I need to have an audio interface plugged into it, and then the cable in for that. Then I need the pedals. So then I want the pedals the way I want them. So I need a minimum of 3 loops. So therefore, having 4 buttons on the floor isn't enough for me. So ideally, perfect world with Loopy Pro would be having probably 2 MC8 Pros side by side. Now I know you can do banks, but if you want to have, I'd want 8 buttons, maybe 12 buttons. And of course you can build your own. If you want to know about building your own, go and see the interview we did with Kevin Cower, because Kevin is fantastic. He kind of built his own sort of pedal board, integrated things like HX stomps into it, and just built a lot of buttons around it, which is really clever. So yeah, you could do something like that and then have something slotted in, but it's also a lot of work, and there's also a lot of engineering part of it. So, but at the same time, Loopy Pro is fantastic, but you've got to build everything out, because then do you trust Loopy Pro to run with all the effects as well? Or do you just use Loopy Pro on its own and put all the effects into it? If that's the case, then you also then need to have an audio interface that can take all that in. I've always played with hardware first, and the other thing about the hardware side of things, if I wanted Loopy Pro to be if I wanted to use Loopy Pro as a dedicated looper, I would need a device that had just Loopy Pro on it and nothing else, because I wouldn't want anything like any other apps to like ping through, or I know you could put it on Do Not Disturb and things like that, but I'd want it to ping through. I wouldn't want it to ping through with a problem, or it crashed or anything else, because something else in the background came into play. So there's a lot to do with it. Loopy Pro is amazing. There is no denying that whatsoever. And I know some people who are moving over to Loopy Pro more than ever because of the flexibility. You can basically build your own looper inside it. People like Loop with Jack, Max Yar, they are spearheading sort of like what you can do, and they're pushing the boundary of what you can do with it from a live point of view. There are other people doing stuff in studios, and that's fine. But the live element is where it's at. I love hardware ones mainly because they've got to be built like a tank. They've got to. So I do prefer hardware because I can just turn it on. I know it's set up the way I want to, and then that's it. You just go. And it's probably because it's easier, if I'm honest. And if I'm playing a covers gig in like an Irish bar, no one cares. No one cares what you're using. They just want to hear the tune. They don't care if you're tapping on something. Oh, look, doesn't it look cool? And there's people who want to see the looping, and there's people who just want to hear the tune. So for quick and I suppose it's for quickness. It's more about that. It's more about that. Anyway, but thank you for the question. I like that. I like questions like that because that is my choice, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to have something that I can open up, put on the floor, turn it on, plug it into the PA, and away you go. So if you want to practice, of course, you've got Loop Like a Pro, which you can buy, which is normally $48. It's now 50% off with Black Friday. So that basically, if you go to that, I know it says $199 originally because it used to be two things. It's now $48, and now it's half price of that. So of course, if you do want to learn how to loop and want to learn timing, go to there. The alternative is, of course, you can go to the Loop Academy. Loop Academy is my membership that's now in two places. It's right here on YouTube, but it's also, let's say, right here on SKOOL because we're live on SKOOL as well. So at the moment on SKOOL, it's $49 per month for the first 20 members, and there's slots available. Once those 20 members have locked in, the price is going to go up. It's actually cheaper on SKOOL than it is on YouTube, and that's just a promo at the moment for the first 20 people. So obviously practicing your looper, whatever it is, whether you're obviously practicing the timing touching or with your feet, and of course you could build everything up, which leads me on to planning your set list. Obviously you plan your set list anyway, you structure your songs. So number 3 is plan your set list, structure your songs, and then your song structure might change because of the looper. Since it's coffee hour, I need to take a bit of, well, I'm drinking tea, so whatever you're drinking, let me know. So planning your set list is really important because if you have like a rocking beat with the looper and then you've got something that drops down, you could empty the dance floor. The example I always give with this is actually my friend John Wynn. So John does like 2 set lists, 2 45-minute sets. The first one, he loops everything. So he does the beat, he does the bass line, loops everything. What you can find with your set list, certainly with a looper, is if you then build everything every time, it can take a bit more longer than the actual song. So it can take, because it takes a bit of time. Certainly if you're not doing like record, dub, play, you can record, play, dub. You need a whole revolution. So what John does is when he's got the dance floor rocking, as it were, they're all up for a dance and everything else, he's got programmed into his RC300 and RC600, because he's got both, because he plays with both. He's got programmed in specific memories in different songs. But he'll also do things where he'll put the beat down, he'll play a song, and he'll erase the, let's say he beatboxes. So he puts a beatbox down and beat on track 1. And then on track 2 is the bass, and track 3 is like guitar and harmonies, okay? Plays song number 1, and then what he does is whilst the beat's still going, he doesn't stop the looper, he erases the beat, the bass line and the guitar and harmonies, but keeps the beat going. Maybe adds a tweak in somewhere, like a psh or whatever, and adds something in, and then plays another song. So instead of going one song, play, stop, erase, build the whole song up again, he's using that beat and he merges that beat with another song, so that everyone's still grooving to the beat while he's building something back up. The other thing he does as well is he'll have something that is what I like to call a skeleton track. So then he'll have like something going, the other and like he's finished it and everything else, and he's recorded stuff, and then he just goes memory up. And of course, with the RC600s, it'll actually do it in time. So at the end of the loop, it'll just go up to the next version. So if you do something like that, but you could have a bass line that's already preloaded in, and you keep the party going, which is really, really cool. So plan your set lists, and of course, over the next 4 to 6 weeks, you're gonna be adding in Christmas tunes potentially. So there's, if people want Old Man's Eye, you might play that manually for New Year. But if you've got specific Christmas songs that you want to keep going, there's loads of dancey Christmas songs, and there's loads of sort of you've got if you've been whammed yet this year. I've been whammed. I got whammed twice this week alone. So there we go. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then who are you? Number 4, check your levels. They will not be right. What I mean by this is that if you've done practice at home and you've plugged into your PA, exactly the same PA that you're going to use at the gig, you're in a room of this space, and then you suddenly go into a room that's 4 or 5 times the space, 10 times the space. So your levels aren't going to be right because maybe the bass sounds a bit muddy in here, or in the venue, sorry, because basically in here you've changed it to make it sound right. So once you've plugged everything in, check your levels at every venue. If you're playing a venue that you play a lot, you may be able to save a preset where you've got the EQ the way you want it on your PA. I know I can do that on my one, so you can actually recall it, which is cool. But yeah, check your levels. Always, obviously, sound check. That's just good advice anyway for anyone who wants to gig. But certainly with looping, I've been in a venue before where I was playing again like a small bar, and I was rehearsing here the day before, 2 days before, and then when I plugged it in, we got going, and the bass just as I went something like that went woof, and it made the massive noise. I was like, whoa, and turned it down. So check your levels, obviously, because they won't be right if you've been practicing somewhere else or you've gigged somewhere else. Every venue's different, or you may be plugging into someone else's system. So there's a lot of bars in town in Liverpool where they have their own system, and you just plug your stuff into their mixer, but you don't know who's used that mixer beforehand. You could have had a guitarist who was just an acoustic guitarist who's just whacked everything up, and then you plug in and it's screaming like crazy about the looper. So check your levels, they won't be right. So if you're just joining us, hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. It's 20 past 10 on a Monday morning, and this is a new thing I'm going to be doing, which is Coffee Hour with JP. What I'd like to do in Coffee Hour is actually just hold ourselves accountable. So what I want you to do is in the chat, or if you're watching on the replay, in the messages underneath, I want you to just write down the one thing that you want to do, the one thing you want to do from a musical point of view that you want to either achieve or have finished by the end of this week. So this is basically holding ourselves accountable, but also at the same time getting some stuff done. Maybe you've got a song that you've begun to write, and you're like, I want to carry on that, but work's in the way. Then yeah, hold yourself accountable. Let's write it down in the chat, or in the comment section underneath the video on YouTube, for example. We're also live on SKOOL. We're doing Coffee Hour both on SKOOL and on YouTube. So if you're on SKOOL, come and say hi. If you haven't realised that I'm on SKOOL, hi, I'm also on SKOOL now, and that is where all my courses are there on the classroom, where you can get access to it for just $49 a month, or you can lock in for $495 a year, meaning that it works out, I think it works out $41 a month for 12 months. And then I'm going to be adding some more stuff in 2026 that I have planned. And we've also got the new thing that I'm trying to do, which is called JP's Looping Vault. So the Looping Vault is all my performances that I've done. We're going to do this on YouTube as well, under the members. So in the membership, so therefore you can access all the videos of me performing different songs, covers. But I'll show you how I perform them. Now, I'm not telling you that's how you should perform them. I'm just basically saying this is how I'm doing it. Take it as inspiration, and then I'll just be adding more as the year goes on. Now, where were we? So we've done choose a looper, practice the looper, plan your set list, check your levels. The next one, Again, general use. Check your gear before you leave. The winter time, the Christmas time, you might not be feeling 100%. Have a checklist. It's dead simple. I've got one on my phone in the notes page. Have I got my mic? Because I have a mic for the looper specifically. Have I got the cables for that mic? I actually do it where I kind of think of it like top down. So go microphone, cable to microphone for looper, guitar, cable for guitar. I also use wireless systems anyway, but I bring the cables just in case they run out of battery or they fail. Have you charged the batteries? There's another thing. I've got my looper is battery powered. So how do I play with that? Make sure it's charged. Certainly if you're doing back-to-back gigs and stuff, you need to make sure you've got stuff. And yeah, just have a checklist. Just have a checklist and check your gear again before you leave. It's like the people who check you've got your passport before you go on an airplane. It's things like that. Now, this kind of goes with number 4, which is check your levels, but with a looper as well, it's more important for location. And what I mean by that is feedback and also view. If you don't know what I mean, I'm going to explain it, so don't worry. If you're using a looper and you're using a microphone specifically, you'll get some feedback from that. So you'll get basically from, if your speaker's right next to you, that'll bleed back into your microphone. Now, I've done a review of things like the mic mute, which is very useful. So you could use things like that, but you don't want bleed going into the looper. So make sure that your location, if you've got monitors, they're not blasting out, so you get that bleed. But also view. If you have everything built up around you and you just look like this, and you're playing and you're looking at your looper, it's not very entertaining for the viewer. So I would always recommend to film yourself performing at home to see what you look like, and be critical of yourself. Be honest, be kind, but also be critical, because then that way, how you look to other people, how you're performing, it's part of the performance. It's part of there's a difference between, there's a great great Instagram video that was going around where, are you doing a recital or are you doing a performance? So if you can read music, that's fantastic. But then also, if you are meant to be doing your own thing, if you're just standing there playing the chords and just singing the notes, you're kind of going through the motions. Is that a performance? So look at the location, look at feedback, obviously feedback going into the looper, and then of course the view of how you look as well. The next one is number 7, which is be flexible and be adaptable. Okay, so learn your undo and redo button, wherever that is, either it's on Loopy Pro on the app or whether it's on your pedal. Be flexible, be adaptable. What I mean by this is you've got this feeling that the crowd are pumping and they just want to sing the chorus one more time. Well, let it roll, let them go through it, or use the undo and redo to be a bit more flexible, to add things in. And it's okay if you make a mistake. I've made plenty of mistakes. I was doing a private gig not the Saturday to Hedge, the Saturday before, made a mistake on one of the songs. That's okay. Don't worry. Just, it's one of those things where you make a mistake, you'll know you made a mistake, but don't let it ruin the whole gig. Use your undo. Or if you want to be flexible with stuff, sing a load of harmonies, undo it, and then you can redo it and bring it back for the chorus. So be flexible, be adaptable, certainly to the situation as well. So if you're in a situation where I'm playing along, someone comes up to me and goes, "Hey mate, have you got this song? Can you do this?" I'm like, "Yeah, no problem at all." And then just pick up where you left off. Don't think, "Oh God, I'm gonna have to start again because that guy talked to me." It's fine. Be flexible, be adaptable. Don't take it to heart, because if someone's coming to ask you, "Do you know this song?" it's because they like the way you play. Can you do this one? It's not a negative. It's not a, "You don't know this song, why haven't you played this song?" It's a, "I like you, but I'd like you to play this song because I'd like to hear how you do it." So have a think about that. That leads me nicely on to number 8. Be creative. Okay, so be original. If you were to play if you were to spend 3-4 minutes creating a loop to make it sound exactly like the CD or the stream, whatever you want to call it, then they might as well just put that on. They might as well not have you on at all. So be creative, because make the song your own. You probably heard before, but what I mean by be creative is, throw a little weird loop in there. Throw, put a breakdown where the breakdown isn't. I do a couple of versions of a couple of different songs. So, for example, Sweet Home Alabama mixed with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and it gets a laugh, and it relaxes everyone a little bit. So, doing things like that can go a long way and actually get get the audience to like you. Not that they might not like you, but get the audience to go, oh, I like that, or I make you memorable. Maybe they'll book a gig based on the fact that you mix things up a bit. I mix up 2 Ed Sheeran songs, and then I mix up No Diggity with it. Not saying you have to do a load of mashups, but just be creative. You could do a slow version of what would be typically a fast song. You could do a country version of something that would normally be a pop song. So think about being creative, being original, make it fit your style. Don't obviously, and also make sure the looper fits you. Don't then change your entire set list just because you bought a looper and then say, right, I've got to use a looper on every single song. I do 90% of the time because I'm used to looping and I've been doing it for almost 20 years now. But it's more about adding the song in. A friend of mine got a looper, this is years ago, and he did Niles Barkley song, and he literally just put a thud in, like a boom, 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 and then he just kept that going, boom, I remember when, and just hit that. The crowd went wild. That was the only thing on the looper, was literally like a 4 on the floor hit. That's all he needed, and the crowd loved it. So be you, be original, be creative. How's everyone doing, by the way? Hope you're okay. If you're watching on the live stream, say hi. If you're watching on the replay, say hi. We're also, before we do number 9, we are keeping ourselves accountable. So what I want you to do, your homework, should you choose to accept it, is write down in the comment section or in the chat what you want to achieve by the end of the week. It could be something simple. Tidy the studio. That would be useful. It could be finish writing a song. It could be learn a new song on the loop pedal, or maybe learn the loop pedal itself. And that leads me nicely on to that. If you want to learn anything from me, go to johnpaulmusic.co.uk. Everything at the moment is 50% off with the code BL50. That's Bravo Lima 50. And all the courses, even a one-to-one with me, is 50% off. Someone's already bought that, and we've scheduled a call. We're going to have a chat soon. The selfish plug is this, learn from others. So you can learn from me with all the courses and stuff. We're now on SKOOL.com. We're hanging out at Skool as well as YouTube as well. I don't know why I point over there. You're both there. It's just what I can see. And if you want to join us on Skool, we're going to do hangouts there, specifically just for Skool members. But we're also going to do, all my courses are there, bar one. I've just got to put the Sheeran Looper X course on there, and then we're up to scratch. And yeah, you can obviously learn from other people. Go and learn from, some of the. We've got our podcast, which is How Do You Loop. So if you want to learn from others, you could obviously watch the How Do You Loop podcast, where I interview other people, how they loop, or why they use what they use. I do that podcast because I want to learn. I want to learn from other people. I want to see what other people are doing. How do you use this thing? Because I've heard you do a live stream, and I'm like, I've never done that with that pedal. So how do you do that? So it's curiosity. And the last one is literally have fun and enjoy yourself. The whole point of music is to enjoy yourself. If you're standing there playing music going, oh God, I hate this, maybe you should be doing it. If you're having a bad day, everyone has bad days. But if you're constantly going, this is not right, I'm not, what could you do then to improve that? What could you do to make you happy with it again? There's a reason you started doing it, so there must be a reason why you want to carry on doing it. So have fun, enjoy yourself, and it shows when you're not. It really does. So if you're like playing, or I'm not happy. Whereas if you're enjoying yourself, I'm not saying you have to be super loud or super all the time, but if you show that you're enjoying playing the music that you want to play. If you're not playing the music you want to play, then play the music you want to play. If you're being hired for a covers gig and you don't want to do covers, then go and play original gigs. They might not pay the same. They might do if you ticketed, but try it. Obviously, go and have fun. Go and enjoy yourself. Mash up a Mariah Carey and Limp Bizkit together. I don't know. Something crazy like that. Obviously, if you want to ask any questions, please do so. We're going to sign off in a minute, but I just wanted to just say hi, and we're going to do this thing, which is coffee hour. But the whole point of the idea of this is to talk about accountability. So what are you going to do for the week on a music level, just so you can go, do you know what? I took a step forward. I did that thing. So by the end of Sunday, that's the end of the weekend, literally called the weekend. So you've got 7 days. What are you going to do in those 7 days? One thing. It could be everything from tidy the studio so it's nice and bright and easy for you to work in, right through to I'm going to learn that Mariah Carey song. Please don't. For adding into my set list for the Christmas tracks. So yeah, what are we going to do? Let me know, obviously, in the comment section below, but it's not really for me, it's for you. So you can look back next week and go, I did that. So what we're going to do the week after. So I think we always get into a rut. I certainly do when it comes to certainly gigging, where you just play the same songs. You end up playing the same stuff. And only if someone goes, have you got this? Do you play this? Do you know this? So I think it's kind of mixing the songs up a bit, but also let's just learn something new. Let's learn how to maybe add MIDI to your RC600. Let's learn how to change things up. Now, if you want to go through obviously all the playlists that I've got of all the different loopers and loop pedals, then of course you're welcome to do so. We've got everything from Loopy Pro right through to the 600s, and when I'm building another one now for the New X because that one's pretty cool. And then if you want to take things a step further, I've got dedicated courses for looping, which are on YouTube under the membership, which is called Loop Academy. And the Loop Academy is also available on SKOOL.com as well. So for the first 20 members of SKOOL.com, we're live on SKOOL.com right now. And for the first 20 members, you're going to get SKOOL.com for $49 US a month, whereas Loop Academy on YouTube is £44.99 British pounds. It's about $60. So it's £10 more a month on YouTube at the moment, because the SKOOL.com one is a bit of a promo. The other thing you can do with SKOOL.com is you can lock in. So you can lock in at $4.95 a year. That means it's coming in at $41 a month. So if I put the price up, which I will after the first 20 members, you've got it for $41 a month for the entire year. Whatever I put onto SKOOL.com and the YouTube membership, you're gaining. You're going to get it anyway, no problem at all. So the other thing you can do, of course, is you can buy my courses, which are available on johnpaulmusic.co.uk, and just put in the code BL50. So think of Black Friday, Black Friday 50, so BL50, and you're going to get 50% off in the checkout. You can follow me on all the socials. We've got, obviously, just follow John Paul Music UK, and you can see what we're doing there. And yeah, there we go. I think that's pretty much it, unless anyone's got a burning question. And thank you, Cole, for your question earlier. It's a good one. If you haven't seen that, you're going to have to watch it on the replay now. As we come to the end of my drink, I think that's a good time. So, thank you very much for watching. We'll be back next week with Coffee Hour, and I want to know A, what you've done for the past week, and B, what you're going to do for the week ahead. I hope that makes sense. I hope that helps you. And if you've got any questions, put them in the comment section below, and I will see you soon. Right, there we go. I found the right button now.